Hi guys, welcome back to another video in Next.js 15. In this particular video, I'm gonna be implementing a full-fledged authentication system, sign in, sign up, forget reset password, and we are going to see how we can implement the sign in with GitHub and other social providers. So for this, I'm gonna be using an amazing library which is gaining a lot of attraction, which is called the Better-Auth. Before this video, as you guys know that I have created videos on Clerk-Auth, Next.Auth, Auth0, Kind-Auth, and this one looks quite promising. It is open source as well. We can freely use it. So if we go to the docs, it supports a lot of features and we can integrate Better-Auth in various technologies. Like if I go to the integrations, you can see that in all of these different technologies, if I open up the plugin, we can integrate the two-factor auth, anonymous auth, phone number, magic link, passkey, and it's quite easy to integrate. So let's go to the get started actually integration and Next.js. So this is the article I'm going to be following, but this article does not include all the different features that we will be implementing in this. So I have combined various documentations of this particular docs website for the Better-Auth, and I'm going to be implementing sign in, sign up, forget reset password, validations, sending emails, generating tokens, sign in with GitHub, and the same process you can follow for other social logins as well. So now I have created a new Next.js 15 project, and this is where I will start. So I'm going to be building this Better-Auth and Next.js authentication app from scratch. I know that the UI of this particular app is not great, but I'm going to be focusing mainly on the functionality of the Better-Auth, the validation, authentication, and the technology specific. So we can always improve the UI as per our requirements. So this is the project. Let's first install the few libraries that we will be needing to use in this particular app. So first of all, I'm going to be coming up in the terminal and I'm going to be installing few packages. So npm install. And first package is obviously the Better-Auth. The second package we will need is PG, then resend. Then we will be needing some kind of types because we are using the TypeScript. I have created this Next.js 15 project with the TypeScript. So I would need types/PG. And I think that we are good. And yes, I will be needing Better-Auth/CLI because for actually integrating and implementing authentication, we need to give some kind of database URL. And for database URL, Better-Auth automatically creates some tables in our database for the session, for user, for managing tokens. So with the help of the CLI of the Better-Auth, we will be automatically generate that particular tables and the schema in the database. So let's hit enter, and these are pretty much all the packages that we will be needing in this particular small app. Meanwhile, it is getting installed. I just want to quickly tell you guys that I've already created a lot of Next.js tutorials covering pretty much every topic of Next.js, from the authentication, from building apps, from security, from SEO, from PWA. So all the different topics, including the AI integrations and building chatbots as well. So you can check out my playlists on the Next.js 14 and the Next.js tutorials. So I would request you guys to subscribe my channel and like my video. It will really encourage me for making more videos for you guys. So before start writing the code, let me show you that what happens after I log in. So after I log in, it will automatically show these two URLs which were protected. When I was not logged in, if I manually try to change the URL, still I will not be able to navigate to these two routes. And this is the server side component. If I click on that, we will be able to see the logged in user data on this particular page from the server side. And this is the client side component. I will show you both of these ways, that using Better-Auth, how we can fetch the user logged in user data in both client side component as well as in both server side components. And if I try to navigate to the routes which are related to auth, like login, I'm logged in already. So I should not be able to navigate to these login, sign up, forget reset password routes. So if I hit enter, you will see that I'm not able to navigate to the login. So all kinds of validations I have applied. So let's get back to our project. So as you guys know that we have already installed these packages. So first of all, I'll come to this and I'm going to create a new file. This is going to be the env, and the first env variable that we would need is the Better-Auth secret. And we can actually store any random value inside it. like this. Okay, you can generate any random value yourself and you can put it over here. And the next variable we will need is the next public base URL to actually know what is the whether we are working locally or on the production, so that on the production we can change the base URL for the website. Next thing we will be needing is the Google client ID, actually GitHub client ID, GitHub client secret. I will show you how you can generate these. We will be needing resend API key for sending an email, and we will be needing, I can actually store the email ID directly in the code as well, but I'm going to be storing the email ID in the environment variable, that from which email we want to send emails to the users. Like if someone requests for reset password, we need to have an email through which we will be sending them email with the token so that they can use that token to reset their passwords. And then we will be needing lastly the database URI, which we'll be using and generating it. So we can have 3 ways to actually create that. So we can use any kind of, a database, MongoDB, SQLite, Postgres. So I'll be using Postgres database for this particular app. So if I go to the docs of this, let's go to the Next.js, and it is showing us that we need to create this API route first of all inside this particular directory. So what I'm gonna do is inside the API folder, I will be creating auth folder and then the all, and then inside it I'll be creating route.ts. So let's create that. So inside the app, let's I have already added that. So API/auth/ square brackets dot all, and inside the route.ts I've copied this code which I've got it from here. And next it is saying us that we can create pages. So right now we are not using the pages directory structure in Next.js. We are using the app directory structure. So I'm going to be showing you how we can create all the flow of the authentication using Better-Auth over here. So first of all, it is showing us an error, libauth. So I'm going to be creating a new folder. This is going to be called lib, and inside it I'm going to be creating 2 files. One is for the server side, other one is for the client side. So this one is the auth. This will be used for fetching the user's data from the server side components. And then I will be creating auth-client.ts. And this is the file that I will be using for the client side user data. So first of all, over here inside the auth.ts, let's see if the error is gone or not, because I'm not returning this auth from this file. So that's why the error is not removed now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be importing Better-Auth, which is going to be from the Better-Auth. Next, I'm gonna be using the next cookies. And this is going to be from Better-Auth Next.js. We will also be needing resend inside it. Let's import that, but I'll be implementing it later on. And we will be needing pool from the PG. Okay, so let's create resend. I'll be using it later on. And I've already created this resend API key in my environment file. I'll be updating that. This is where I will be showing you how you can create account on reset website, and then you can add it over here. So we have added that. Let's add this exclamation mark. So we are confirming it that we have successfully added it in the environment variable. So I'm going to be writing export const auth equals to Better-Auth, and inside it I will be using the database pool, and then we need to have a connection string with the database URI inside the environment file that we have created. This is the database URL, not the URL, but URI, which I need to update here. URI, okay? So now we have this database, new pool, connection string. Then inside this email and password, we have this enabled true. And then we will be writing the send reset password async user token. And I will be coming back to this later on so that I can fill up few stuff inside it. Okay. What I need to do next is I can add reset password token expires in. So I can add it in the seconds. So let's add the 3600. So it means 1 hour. Okay, so I will also be adding support for the social providers. So you can see that we have already having this. So it doesn't have to be here. So it has to be outside. Let me wrap that thing over here. So there seems something wrong over here. So inside the social provider, I need to have GitHub client ID, client secret, like this. And we have this user token over here. I'll be using it inside it. So for now, I think we are good to go. And then lastly, what we can do is we can add the plugin and the next cookies. And this is the reason we have actually imported this next cookies over here. Right, so this is the whole file. I'll coming back to this when I'll start integrating this send reset password function, not resend but reset. Okay, and then we have this. Let's save this, and now let's go back to the auth client and let's see whether the error is gone or not. So error is not gone. Let's try to reload the window so that we can verify whether error is gone from this file or not. So I think it's working fine because we are exporting this auth from here inside the libauth.ts, and it is working fine over here. Now in the auth client, we need to write a Better-Auth client that can be used from the client side components. So it is not going to be that much big file. So I'm going to be writing the create auth client from the Better-Auth, not the Better-Auth client. It will be Better-Auth React. I should not rely all the time on the AI. So yeah, we have to be careful when we select the suggested code from the AI. So export const auth client, create auth client, and inside it we need to write the base URL, process env next public base URL. So where is that? Next public base URL. This is the one we need to provide over here. Okay, this will work on the client side. And that's all we need to write over here. Now we are done with the configuration. There is still some error because we are not using the GitHub. We are not using the resend, but we'll come back to this. Okay, next what we need to do is let's see the docs. So we have the server.tx. This is where we can get the session of the user. We can get the session on this particular component. Yeah, so let's come back and let's start creating different components and the routes. First of all, we will be needing a navbar. So I'm going to be right clicking and I'm going to be creating components. And inside it, I'm going to be creating a new component, which is going to be the navbar dot tsx. Okay, RAFCE, this is the basic navbar. So for now, let's add a random text and let's go to the layout. And inside the layout, we need to add that navbar above this children. So yeah, so I'm gonna be writing the navbar. Let's bring that in. Let's click quick fix components navbar. Now, what we can do is we can actually write div class name, and I can write mx auto, and let's wrap it inside the div. Before moving further, let's run the project and let's see how is it looking like. Let me stop another server which I'm running in another code editor. So npm run dev, and let's see if navbar is visible at the top above the children or not, because the children content should be coming in from the page.tsx. Obviously, I'll be removing that. So let's go over here. Let's refresh it. Login route does not exist. So let's run localhost colon 3000. All right. So now you can see that this is coming in from the navbar and this is the content of the page.tsx file. So it means that it is being loaded over here. Let's go. And I'm going to be adding some, padding x4 and padding y2 as well, so that there has to be some space in the navbar. Yeah, so that's all. Now I think this is pretty much it we need to do in this layout file. So I'm going to close that. And inside the page.tsx file, I will be removing everything. So let's remove this main and then the footer, all this. And now let's add the p tag and let's add the Better-Auth. Let's add some classes so that we can see this text in a larger font. So text 5XL font bold. Okay, so this is looking like this. We have this nav bar, and before moving further, let's go to the globals.css file. So I'm going to be actually commenting this thing so that we have the white background and we are able to see this text properly. Okay, so now let's create different routes like the home route, login route, sign up route, dashboard profile routes. In page.tsx, let's remove this. It is causing an issue. We don't need an image in this particular component. And inside the app, let's create a new folder. First of all, I will be needing dashboard. If you don't know how to create routes in Next.js, it is based upon the folder, like whatever the name we provide to folder, it becomes the route. And provided that we create page.tsx file inside it. So for now, let's create this dashboard page. And inside the div, what we can do is we can write h1 and welcome to the dashboard. And after that, I will be actually showing the user data. It can be the name, it can be the email or the complete user data. Let's add some styling to it. So inside the class name, I can add p6. And for this h1, I can have a class name, and this is going to be text3xl. All right, for now that's fine. Let's add the name over here. This is the dashboard. Now let's create another route. This is going to be profile, and this has to have page.tsx for it to become a route. So for this, I can write RAFCE for creating profile page. And inside it, first of all, we can, rather than, we don't have a user session right now. So we can first of all create the divs, and we can show it like this. Okay, client side profile, let's wrap it inside this div like this. And then we need another div below. This is a client side profile. And on the right side of the nav bar, we need a login button. So let's create a login page. Let's write login, and inside it, let's create this page.tsx. So inside the login, we need some kind of design. So RAFCE login page. And inside this div, first of all, let's add that sign in. A few of the styling I'm just copy pasting from my notes because I don't want to spend too much time on the UI part. So so that we don't spend too much time on it. We have the sign in at the top of this model. And then we need to create a form. So for the form, we need actually, so for now, this is only include the sign in. Let's try to add these links in the nav bar. So let's open up the nav bar, and inside the nav bar, we need to have these links added. So right now, let me add few boilerplate over here. Okay, so this is going to have like this. Okay, return should have this kind of, so we are not just closing these divs. So I can actually close this div, and we need to have another div. Okay, and we need to have a nav as well. Now the error is gone. Now in the nav bar, it should look like this. Let's see how is it looking like. All right, now you can see that the home is being looking like over here, and we have this text. And this home is coming from here, and this is the link which is coming in from the next link. And when we click on that, it will take us to the home page, the localhost 3000 or whatever the base URL is. Next thing we need is the link dashboard and the link profile. So outside of this link, we can have both of these links, dashboard and then the profile. You can see that I can click on the dashboard. It has moved to welcome to dashboard. If I click on the profile, and this is the client side profile, which has taken us to, we have already created these two routes, and we have successfully created that. On the right side in the nav bar, we need to have basically outside this div, I'm going to create another div. So inside this div, I can have a login sign in link. Okay. For now, let's add the sign in link. And yes, you can see that it is working over here. And if I click on that, it should take us to the login page. We have already created that, but for now we have only added this sign in text at the top. Okay. So now let's go to the login page, and inside this login page, we need to create a form. So for creating a form, I'm going to be actually coming inside this div, and I'm going to write form. And inside this form, I'm just going to be quickly copy pasting few of the code so that we can save over time. This is the input tag. Let's go. There is an error because we don't have the email set email and is loading. So these are actually the state variables. So at the top, we need to create a state variable, but in Next.js, all the components are rendered from the server side. In order to render any component from the client side, we need to write use client at the top. So this is the text it is writing over here. And in order to create the state variables, I'm going to be adding these 4 state variables. I hope you already know React, and use state is coming in from the React, and we can actually use it for the state variables. So let's remove it. We don't need that. And for the router, we will be using it for manually navigating from one route to another route. And this is the state variable. I think we are good for now. And we will also be needing auth client, because this is the client side component, and we will be needing it from the auth client, and the link from the next link for navigating from one page to another page, or we want to add the links. In this particular sign in page, you can see that email is showing over here. We will be needing 2 links, reset password or navigate to the sign up page. Okay, so that's why I have added this link. Auth client will be used to show whether we are logged in or not in the nav bar, because when we are logged in, we don't want to show the sign in button. We want to show some kind of log out button. Okay, just to detect whether user is logged in or not. So this will help us to detect whether we are logged in or not. So in this particular form, we have one input, no error over here. And then let's add another input. This is going to be for the password. We have already added the state variables, and you can see that this is having the email and then the password. Let's go inside this form and let's add a class, so that there has to have a space in between, space y4, and there is a space in between. Okay. And then we will be having a button below this particular form. And for the button, let me add the button over here. All right. So this is the button which I have added. So the button will be disabled if email is empty or password is empty, or if I've already clicked on this button. Okay, during the process of the signing in, I don't want to click this button again and again. So that's why I'm maintaining it is loading. This button should be disabled, and when it is loading or when it is not loading, whether button is clicked or not, I am actually showing the loader accordingly and changing the background color for the button. And if it is in the process of signing in, then I'm showing it the signing in. Otherwise, just the sign in button, which is showing over here. Okay, right now it is disabled because email and password are empty. Okay. Next thing is that below this button, I will be needing sign in with the GitHub. Okay, so we don't need a form for that. So I'm going to be coming outside this form, and I'm going to be adding this particular button. There will be an error because I need to create this handle GitHub function. So let's add that quickly. For now, I will be adding it an empty like this. Okay, this button is added, no error, which is pretty good. Lastly, below this button, I need 2 links. One is create an account. When user doesn't have an account, user wants to go to the sign up page, or if user forget his password. Okay, so this is what I will be adding. So below this button, I will be adding this p tag. Okay. So these two buttons are added. Links, create an account, forget password, and this is where I'm using this link from Next.js. It will take us to the sign up page, which we yet have to create it. And then we have this forgot password, which is the route which we have to create yet as well. Okay, so this is the form we have created, and yeah, before moving further, let's create another route, and this is going to be the sign up. Make sure it is matches with this one, and inside the sign up we need to have a page.tsx. Okay, so inside the sign up, the UI is going to be looking similar to that. So I'm going to be copying everything from this login page to this sign up page. Okay, and I'm going to be changing the name of this component, which is going to be the sign up. Let's copy that. Let's come below. We have the sign up, and let's try to navigate to that. Okay, I'm in the sign up. Login and sign up are looking same because I need to update it right now. So let's see what we need to update. First of all, we need to update the sign up text at the top. Okay, we need to have an email for the sign up. We need to have a password. It's looking just like that, and then we don't need this handle GitHub login, so I'm gonna remove it, and I'm also going to remove this button as well because we have removed that login. Okay, so let's click on create an account, and this is how the sign up page is looking like, yeah, I think we are good to go for now. Let's go to the login, and in the form, when I'm going to submit the form, I need to actually trigger a particular function. So let's add that inside the form. I'm going to write on submit and handle email login. So let's copy that. Let's create a function for this. It does not exist, so I'm going to be creating that. So const handle login, and then I can write the async e, which is going to be of type react dot form event arrow function. Okay, this function is created. Now inside it, don't need that. And this is true, set errors false, and there should not be any error now. Okay, so when I'm going to click on this button, this one, it is of type submit, so it means that this is going to trigger this function automatically. And similar to this, I can go to the sign up, and inside the sign up I can have that particular function as well. So let's add that function over here inside the sign up. And for now, I'm going to end this up. Let's copy that inside the form, and I can write the submit and the handle sign up. Okay. Before moving further, let me open up this env file, and I'm gonna be adding the database URI. So we can have a Postgres database running locally in our system, local system as well, or we can use some cloud services as well. And for that, we can use Neon. Neon provide us a lot of features for generating the SQL schema, database schema, and checking out which data is it inside it. So if we go to back to the Neon, we need to create a new project. Okay, when we create a new project, it will ask us to set the region, set the Postgres, and the name of your project. Obviously, if I click on that, it will ask us these things. Okay, you need to select any of these. I selected AWS. I selected the region nearest to my country, nearest to my location. Name the project, name the database name, and click on create. Once it gets created, you will be seeing this kind of page. So in order to take that URL, you need to click on this connect, and then you need to click on the show password, and then click on the copy snippet, whatever is showing over here. So this is how whole Postgres URL looks like. So I'm gonna be clicking on the copy snippet, and let's come here and let's paste it. Okay, and this is how the complete Postgres URL looks like. right? So let's stop the server. And as you guys know that at the start of this tutorial, I installed the CLI for the Better-Auth. And the reason I installed the CLI because I want to generate those schema for that. So if I go to the tables, after you add that, you need to create these 4 tables, okay? And each of these table account have the ID, account ID, provider ID, user ID, session, user, and the verification, okay? So in order to actually create that, you need to run one command. So in order to run one command, make sure you have the CLI of the Better-Auth is installed. You need to run this command npx at betterauth/CLI and then the migrate. It will automatically check the database URI in your env file, and probably it's going to check this auth.ts client and also these route.ts, and it's going to automatically generate these 4 tables. Okay, I've already generated that, but let's try again what happens if I try to regenerate these again. Okay, it is asking us to add that resend API key. So let me add those quickly. I'm gonna be removing these keys. You can have your own keys. Okay. After this tutorial, I'm gonna be removing all of these keys. So let's do that, and resend API key. This is what we have added for the resend email from. By default in the free version of the resend, this is the email we need to write. From this email, the email will be sent to the user, whoever is going to request the reset password. Okay. So now these are the environment variables I have added. So in the terminal, I can run the migrate command again, and let's see. All right. So you can see that it is showing that it is going to create these tables. User, session, table, and these are the fields of each table. Okay, I've already generated that, so I'm not going to generate that again. If you want to generate that, you will see this thing, and then you will be able to click on this Y. So you need to write Y after this, and it's going to be generated again. Okay, I'm gonna be canceling it. Okay, before moving further, let me show you how you can generate resend API key. So you need to navigate to the resend website, resend, and you need to sign up. Okay, and then you need to go to the API keys, and inside it you need to create a new API key, and this is the token which I have copied from here. Obviously I'll be deleting this token after this tutorial, and after creating this API key, this is where I have copied over here. Okay, I will showing you how we can add the GitHub client ID and the client secret later on. Now make sure after you run that migrate command and refresh this neon after a few minutes, and go to the tables and refresh it as well, or you might need to click on this icon as well. These 4 tables should be created over here. Okay, or you might not be using neon, you might be using other tools as well, like the Supabase, AWS, your local Postgres database, or you might not be using Postgres, you might be using MongoDB, MySQLite. In order to see what kind of databases supports, we can go to the databases, and these are the databases supported: MySQL, SQLite, Postgres, MS SQL. Okay, other relational databases. All right, so these are the supported. I think it does not support the MongoDB NoSQL right now. Yeah, it does not support right now. Maybe in the future it starts supporting that. Now let's implement the sign up first of all. So open up the sign up page, and at the top we have the auth client, and we'll be using it to actually sign up the users. We have the state variables, which are the 5. Not 5 but the 4, but this one is for navigation. Now inside the handle sign up, after this set error, so obviously when every user is going to click on the sign up button on the UI, let's see, create an account. Clicking on this particular, actually I need to update the text of this button as well. So here this has to be set loading to be false, to be true, because as soon as I click on this button, the loader needs to be started. And the errors, if I have tried it before with the wrong credentials, then there will be an error. Clicking on it again, that should hide the error and decide whether it needs to show an error after that or not. So that's why I'm adding these 2 lines. So after this, let's add the try block, and inside it, I'm going to first getting out the default, because the auth client of the Better-Auth require the name as well, along with the email and the password. I've not added the text box for the name, so we can fetch out the username from the email as well before the add character. Okay, so I can write the default name equals to the email.split, at 0, and then AI is suggesting me few things. Let's see if it is right. Let's select that. So const data error, which is fine. Actually, we don't need data for this. We are not going to show the data over here in this particular page. So I'm just keeping the error, and I'm going to name it, giving it an alias auth error. So await auth client dot sign up email, and then email password is going to be the password. It should be stored inside this password, which is fine. So after that, we need to actually check if there is an error or not. So if there is an auth error, so there can be the different types of errors. There can be if the user already exists or not in the database. There can be an error that if there is a weak password or not we are trying to set, or if there is something like the invalid email error. Okay, so inside this if condition, we can add the different conditions. So if, and then we have the else. Why is it showing that error? Yes, because we have to add the catch block as well, error, and this, there is no error. Now let's come back to this if condition. So inside it, I'm going to be adding one switch statement. I hope you already know what is switch. Just to save our time, so this is a switch code. So auth error is going to give me code, okay, and inside this code I can have if user exists or not, and I can set the error over here, and I'm maintaining this state variable over here, set error, and I can show all the errors by using this particular variable of the created using the use state hook. If it is weak password, if it is invalid email, or if because of unknown reasons, then I can set this error, account creation failed, please try again, or simply show the auth error dot message. Okay, and if there is no error, this condition gets false, it means it will go over here in the else block. So if there is no error, then we can take it to the dashboard page, okay, because after successful sign up, we this Better-Auth sign up automatically logs in the user. Okay, so when it automatically logs in, we have to navigate it to the dashboard. We cannot keep it to the these auth routes like the sign up, sign in, reset passwords. Okay, after that we have this catch block. It is showing this error, and then it is showing this set error, and an error occurred during the sign up. Set is loading equals to false. Now in order to show the error, we can obviously show the error message above the form. So below this thing I can add it like this. So if there is an error, it means that we can show it error over here. It will be of red color with the border, and the BG is red of this 100 value. Okay, this is a Tailwind CSS classes. And then below this, we are going to have, we already have these checks, I think. So signing in, so I can actually change these names. So rather than the sign in, I can write create account, and then rather than signing in, I can write creating account. Okay, and on the sign up page, I don't need to add that. I can actually update it and ask it that whether user already have an account, then go to the login page either rather. Okay, so rather than these, I can actually update it like this. Okay, so already have an account. If yes, then user can click on this link and it will take to the login page. So let's save it. Let's refresh this. All right, so now it is updated, and we can click on it and it will take us to the sign in page like this. And from here, I can click on the create an account and it will take me to the sign up. What we can do is we can try signing it up. I actually removed all the entries which I had in the database. Now my database is refreshed, and there is no entry right now. Another thing that I want to do is to add a middleware file. So middleware file is a very important file, and it has to be in your project. And middleware file is used to actually protect your routes, to run any middleware things that you want it to be triggered before any route happens. So in the middleware, we can tell the project that this code in the middleware should run before every route. Okay, and we can define specific routes as well, or all routes. So in this particular middleware file, we can have some code. So import next request, next response from next server, and then I'm going to write get session cookie from Better-Auth, not Next.js, Better-Auth cookies actually. Okay, and then I can export a function, and this is where the main middleware thing starts. Okay, export async function middleware request next request, right? And I'll come back to this function, but after that we need to export config, and then we need to write the matcher. And for the matcher, this is where we need to define all the routes which we want to be included as a part of middleware, means when middleware should execute on triggering of any route. So I can write the dashboard and then the profile. Okay, or after the dashboard we can have any kind of path, and we can define the path like this. Okay, or we can have the other routes as well, like comma like this. Okay, so with all the routes, this middleware is going to be triggered. Okay, profile, login, and for few of these routes we want to have a different condition. For if anybody try to trigger these routes, we want to check whether a user is logged in or not. If user is logged in, then we don't want user to be navigated to these routes, and in reverse order for these particular routes. So let's come inside it, and inside it, what I can do is I can first check whether user is logged in or not. So I can do it using this get session cookie, and using this okay, not session, so I need to be writing get session cookie at the top, request session cookie, and this is going to give me whether user is logged in or not. And then we have the path name. This is going to check whether which route from these got triggered. Okay, so and next thing is that I want to verify whether user is logged in or not, and which routes are authenticated routes. So after this, I have defined these routes in this particular array. I need to check if user is authenticated and trying to access the auth routes, then I should not allow user to access these routes. If user is already logged in, user needs to sign out to access these routes. Okay, so this is the if condition we can add. So if session cookie exists, means user is logged in, and then we are checking if the current path name is matching with any of these paths. If yes, then I'm redirecting user to the dashboard. User should not be able to navigate to that. What is the next condition? Next condition is that when user is not authenticated, then I don't want user to navigate to the dashboard or the profile pages. Okay, this is the next condition that I can add. So after this, I can add this. So it is checking if user is not logged in and try to access dashboard or the profile. I should redirect user to the login page. Okay. So this is the middleware, complete middleware file. And if any of these conditions are not true, then I can simply return to the next page. It means that let the route happen. Let the user navigate to actual route which user requested. Okay, so let's close that. Let's try that again. So let's refresh this and let's try to do that. Capital A, B, C, D at 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's click on create account. This is disabled. Account creation failed. Let's see what went wrong in the terminal. Okay, social provider GitHub is missing client ID, client secret. Oh, I didn't know this might be an issue, but let me show you quickly because I added these two env files. So let's go to the GitHub. So let me quickly show you how you can generate these client ID, client secrets. You need to sign up to your GitHub account. You need to go to the settings of your GitHub account, and then you need to go to the developer settings at the bottom, and then you need to click on the Oauth app. Okay, you need to create a new Oauth app if you have not already created. Clicking on Oauth app, you need to create that, and it's going to, and for this authorization callback URL, you need to provide this thing. Okay, it is provided, it was given to me by the documentation of the Better-Auth. This is what you need to provide. And after you deploy your project on any hosting, you will have a different base URL from localhost 3000 something called abc.com. Then you will be coming back to this app GitHub, and you need to write that again, not for the localhost 3000 but for the actual domain. Okay, but the next thing /API/auth/callback/github should be same. Okay, I've already created that. Let me show you. Okay, so this is what I have added because I'm testing the app in the local host, and this is the homepage URL. You need to update this application name, and then this is the client ID. Okay, right now I can generate a new client secret, but when you will create a new project, you will need to create a new client secret. This is what you need to add over here, and the next secret key is something you need to add over here. Okay, I'll be removing these. I would suggest you guys to have your keys. So let me add that. Okay, let me comment this line for now. And now we have added these links, and let me rerun the project. Okay, because sometimes the env variables are not loaded, so it's better to rerun the project so that our .next folder gets updated. So let's go over here. Let's try to refresh this. Let's write email and password. I hope no error will be shown now. Let's click on the create account. All right, so I'm able to log in. It means that the user is successfully signed up. So let's go to the Neon console and let's refresh it. And let's see. All right, so this has been created over here in the account, and if we go to the user, it has been created over here. But here you can see that we are not able to sign out, or we have not added any logic over here. Okay, so let's go to first of all the nav bar, and I'm going to add a few logics. First of all, in order to show whether user is already logged in or not, and based upon that we can either show sign out button or sign in, and we have to first of all hide these two links when user is not signed in, and then show these links. In order to do that, we have to know whether user is signed up, actually logged in or not. Okay, so I'm going to add these imports. First of all, this has to be a use client, since I will be adding a click event for this button for sign out and these links. So now we have this router. I'll be using it to actually navigate to the login if user click on the sign out button, and then auth client is going to be used for fetching the data whether user is logged in or not. Okay, so this is the auth client.use session. This is the line that is important, and this session is going to give me the data for the user, whether session exists or not. It will show whether user is logged in or not. Is pending is going to show, give me the loader. Okay, and then we have this handle sign out. The AI suggesting me a few things, so let me see whether it is right or wrong. Okay, it is fine. It looks good. So this is how auth client.signout is the built-in function, just like the sign up. And then fetch options are the ones we can actually pass it. And along with the on success, we have the on error as well, whether on sign out, we might have some errors as well. Okay, but on successfully sign out, I'm going to navigate user to the login page. Okay, so let's add this sign out button below this one. And inside this div, we have, first of all, we have this sign in div, the sign in link, and then we can have a sign out button above it. So we have the sign out button now in the red color, but we have to know when we need to show the sign out button, when we need to show the sign in. Okay. So inside it, I'm going to write is pending, because it will take some time to detect whether user is logged in or not for less than a second. So I want to show some kind of, text. So span loading, and I can add the class name as well, text gray 500. Okay. And after that, I can add this one, and then I can add session question mark. Then this. Okay, and let's put this button inside it. Okay, and then this, and then that, And now I'm going to put this sign in link inside this. Now what's happening is initially whether signed in or not, this is going to be shown for a few milliseconds. And if the session exists, then we will show the sign out. If session does not exist, then we will show the sign in button. So now you can see that it is showing the sign out because session exists and we are already logged in because we have successfully signed up. Now, another thing is that I want to add a check to these two links. If user is signed in, then I want to show these two links. Otherwise, I want to hide these two links. Okay. So for this, I'm going to add it like it. And then now I'm signed in. That's why these two links are being shown. If I signed out, then these will not be shown up. I can navigate to the home, I can navigate to the dashboard and then the profile. So let's click on the sign out button. I have clicked that. Okay, so I'm navigated to the login page and no links are showing and this button is updated. So it means that the logic that we have added in the nav bar is working fine. Now the account which we have used to sign up, let's try to log in with the same account. This one. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try to sign in. Okay, it's still signing in. Let's see if it works. All right, so it's trying to get the session. Actually, the thing is that, my bad, we have not implemented the login functionality yet. Okay, we have just handle email login. And let's try to implement that first of all. The login page, it's going to be similar to that. So inside it, what we're gonna do have is we are going to have a try block. And inside the try block, we have an auth error, auth client.signin.email. Okay. Let me verify that. Yep. So email and the password, and then we have the catch block. In the catch block, we can actually show the similar kind of error. So something like this: unexpected login error, unexpected error, please try again. Okay. So now after this, just like the sign up page, we can actually have the similar kind of the error block. Okay, so I've added this error block. If the error exists, error code, and if this will be added up here. And just like the sign up page, we can show the error over here. If the error exists, then the error will be shown with the same kind of styles and then the UI. I'll come back to this and I'll fill up this function for the GitHub login. But first of all, I wanted to implement this. So I think we have added that function. Let's try to log in with that account. Click on sign in. All right, so I'm able to navigate to that and I'm able to fetch the, the data. Let's click on the dashboard and then the profile. Now quickly, before actually moving towards the login with GitHub and forget reset password, I want to show the logged in user data over here. How we can show that? So we know that we have this dashboard page. And inside this dashboard page, we can, since this is a server side component, and we can fetch the data. And we have the auth, and then the link, and then the headers over here. So this is the import that I will need. This is the main file which we have already created, auth, and it is returning as auth. So this is what we'll be using to fetch the data. So I can write const session equals to await. Let's add async over here. So await auth.api.get session headers, await headers, or this session. And then if session does not exist, then we can simply show a please sign in. Okay, this is just a validation, so we can simply return over here. Okay, and now this is showing the dashboard welcome page, and after that we can show session user.name or not. Let's see. Okay, it is showing the Umair. Let's try to refresh this. Session user.name and session.user.email. This is something we can show over here. It's not showing an email, but it's showing the name. Let's go to the profiler. I'll come back to this and see why it is not showing the email. Let me see if I just print out that details outside this, what the whole user shows up. Okay, so we have the email, which is from this session.user. So we are showing only one. Okay, so that was the reason. So if I just remove it, it will show the email. .email. Okay, now it will show the email like this. Okay. Now if we go to the profile, this is the client side component. So we want to fetch the data of the logged in user from the client side page. So in order to do that, first of all, let's add these lines. So we have to write use client at the top, and rather than using the auth file, we have to use auth client file. This is going to be used for fetching the data on the client side. Okay. And for fetching the data on the client side, we need to use auth client.use session. It's going to give us is pending, error, session exists or not. Okay. So this is all we can show. We can, if there is an error, we can show an error. If it is pending, we can show it is pending. If its session does not exist, for example, we can show it like this. If session does not exist, you are not logged in, please logged out. Something like that. But we know that we have already added the check in the middleware that if logged out user does not is not logged in, then user should not be able to navigate to that. These are some extra checks. So let's add this outside h1. I can add this session.user name. So session.user.name, we have this session. Let's try to see. Okay. All right. So now you can see that content properties of null, reading undefined. So it means that we have to add those validation checks up. If session does not, session takes time. This is the reason it is giving us the pending. So we have to first edit the check. If session does not exist, then we have to show something else. So let's add that. Okay, let's see. Okay, it was showing that kind of thing because initially you know that the session is being loaded and it is showing Umair, which is from this. Okay, so it means that this was added. So rather than adding this, what I can do is I can just remove it and I can write the loading. This will look good now. Okay, it's loading and now it's loading the data, right? And if we want to show the email, we can fetch the email as well. Okay, it's showing the email. So now this is on the client side. This was on the server side. We are able to fetch the data, and this is simply the home page. Now, if I try to navigate to the auth pages like a login, we have added a check in the middleware.ts file that the login page should not be able to navigate it to if user is logged in. Login, sign up, forget, reset password. If I hit enter, it is able to navigate to that. But let's see what went wrong. We have this middleware. Okay, this is an issue. It has to be a middleware, so I spell it wrong. Okay, now you can see that I can navigate to the home. Let's refresh. And now let's go to the dashboard. Let's try to navigate to the login now. All right, so you can see that I'm trying to navigate to the login. Let's try to navigate to the sign up. No, I'm not able to navigate to that. The reason is that I'm signed in and I added a check that if user is signed in and it try to navigate to these routes, it should automatically be navigated to the dashboard. Okay. If I now try to sign out, I'm signed out and now I try to navigate to the dashboard. Now I should not be able to navigate to that because I'm not logged in. This is the check I have added over here. Like if session does not exist and user try to navigate to the dashboard or profile, it should automatically be navigated to the login page, and this is what's happening right now. Now quickly, before moving towards the forget password, let's try to implement the sign in with GitHub. And as you know that we have already added its keys in the .env file over here. This was required. We have already added it in the auth.ts over here, social providers. We can add more providers as well as we want. Login with Google, Facebook, Apple, or whatever the provider we might have. So let's go to the login, and we have this button, login with GitHub. Okay. So it's so simple. We just need to write some code provided by the docs of the Better-Auth. And the code is, I'm just going to add that code, and that's it. Setting error empty auth client.signin.social, and we just need to write the name of that. Okay. And if this is the callback URL, that after logging in, where should I navigate to? I should be navigated to the dashboard page. And if there is anything goes wrong, so this is the only line that is enabling the login with the GitHub. So let's try that. Let's refresh this. Let's click on sign in with GitHub. Okay, it will navigate me to the GitHub. All right, so I'm navigated to that. I was already authorized on the GitHub. So for any new email you might have, it will ask for a permission to do you authorize this account to use the Google, the GitHub to use to return the details, to have access all the details to the GitHub account. So this is all the GitHub details. So I'm able to log in with the GitHub provider as well. Okay. Let's go to the home. Now the last thing that we need to implement is the forgot password. If I click on that, it does not exist. So we have yet to create the route for it. We have to add the configuration inside our auth.ts file as well. So for now, let me just close all these things. So quickly, I'm going to add forgot and the reset password quickly. So let me add that inside the app. I'm gonna add forgot password, and then reset password. Forgot password page will be used when user try to write an email and send a token to his email that I want to reset the password. Reset password is going to be used when user click on that link from the email, and from there we want to navigate to a new page where user can add new password for updation. Okay. I hope you understand. And inside the forget password, I'm going to add a new file. This is going to be the page.tsx rafe forgot password page, like this. Okay. And then similar to that, we have to create page.tsx file inside this reset password as well. Okay. So reset password page. Okay, these are added. Now, if I go over here, you can see that forgot password route exists, reset password exists. And similar to the sign in, sign up, we need to have some kind of form inside it. And then we need to trigger that forgot password link. Now let's start building the forgot password page. So in this particular page, first of all, we would need few things. So it has to be a client-side component since it requires user interaction, filling up the form. We're needing the use state for, maintaining the email ID text box and using the state. And then auth client is going to be used to actually store and send the user email, whoever is going to request for the reset password. Okay. So it's built in the Better-Auth, but it will automatically generate the auth token and all the security things. It will be managed. First thing is that we need an email text box, and for that we need these state variables. This one, that we have to bind it with the input text box. Loading is going to be used for maintaining the loader on the button when user click on the request for resetting the password. Message is going to be shown below. If there is any error or something meaningful we want to show, we can store it in the message. Okay. Whether the message is of type success or the error or anything else. And another thing is that we want to maintain the message type, set message type, and this. So before actually writing the functions, I want to actually maintain and create some UI components. So here we have So first of all, I want to add a div with the title at the top. Okay, so I can add this and div, and it has to be ended with the div as well. Let's see. Is the project running? I'm on the forgot password. Let's refresh. All right, so this is the model and it is the title which is showing over here. Okay, and below this I want to show some kind of message. If message exists or not, then I want to simply show if depending upon if it is related to the success or the error, then I can actually store it in the message. Now if message exists, either it is error or success, and here I'm checking if it is related to success, then the background color should be this. If it is error, then background color would be this. Okay, and then below this I want to have an input which is going to take the email ID. So let's save that. And now you can see that enter your email address. This is what I'm showing. An email is binded with the above state variable, which I already had. Below this, I want to have a button. This is going to be sending set a reset password link. And when it is loading, an email does not exist, it will be grayed out. Otherwise it will be but this is the function which we need to create. That's why it is not being shown. And below this, we can simply show the div which I showed you at the start of this particular tutorial. Yeah, let's go over here and add this handle request function. So here I can write handle request. Okay, so now it should be working fine. Anything got wrong? Okay, now this is working fine. It is grayed out. If I start writing something, the button is getting blue. Another validation that I should add, if the email is not correct, the format is not correct, then it should remain disabled until and unless I write add and write a proper format email ID. Okay, but that's fine. You can add such kind of validations. So let's come to the handle request. So first of all, we need to check whether the email exists or not. So if email exists or not, above it, if email does not exist, then I will simply, please enter your email address. This is something we can add and based upon if we have a validations on the button or not. But adding as much as validations is good. That will actually show us whether there is an error or not. And then we are making the loader true. If user click on the button, set message false, set message type false. So these are just simply I'm handling these errors. So try block, and inside it I can actually add const error equals to await auth client and request password reset. Okay, this is a built-in function in the auth client, and we have to send the email and then the callback URL that after clicking on that link which is being generated by this request, where it should navigate to. So this is the page we should have created in our project. We have already created that reset password over here. Okay, now we have this error. Let's add the catch block as well. So inside the catch block, we can have a finally block as well. So let me add that snippet. Okay, I think this is not callback URL, it's a redirect URL. Okay, redirect to. All right, now if there is an error, then we can actually show some kind of this thing. If there is an error, password reset error, set message error. If there is no error, then password reset email sent, please check your inbox or spam folder, set password type success and email success. But before actually building this, it has to be configured. Okay, we have to define the format of email, that in which format the email should be sent. We already know that we have configured resend. Okay, and this is the email that will be used for sending the email from. Okay, who is sending the email. And since I'm using the free version of the resend, if you have your own domain of your website, you can configure the domain on resend for sending the email, and then you can add your domain specific email in this particular value. So I can go to the auth. Now we need to define the email format. So in order to define the email format, I told you that we can use it inside it. So send email request, we can first try and catch block. Okay, so let me add the catch block as well, so we can avoid some kind of errors. So now this is what it's done. Now inside the try block, first of all, what we need to do is we need to check whether this resend API key exists or not, or the resend from email exists or not. So here we can check if it does not exist. We are just throwing an error that please add these keys. Okay, we don't want to trigger that process. And then we can actually use the resend to actually send the email ID. So this is the format which we can use. Okay. This is not a token actually. Let me see. It's a URL, and this is the URL which is going to give us by that function which is going to be triggered from here. Okay. And now this is the email format. This is the from email, and this is the to email, to which user we want to send to. And in free resend, the only email that we can use to send the email to is the one we have logged in resend with. Okay, so the email which I've used to log in should only be used for sending the email. This is the free version restrictions. You can buy the subscription and configure your stuff, or you can use the send grid as well, which is quite awesome as well. Subject is that, and this is the HTML. This is the format of email which will be sent. Hello to the username. This is the format, and this is the URL. This is the link which user needs to click on, and these are simple texts. All right, so we have configured it properly. Let's go over here, and now what we can do is we should actually but I think that so that the token does not get expired after sending the reset password link, let's build up the why there's an error. It is showing the GitHub, and do we need that? Actually, we don't need that. Okay, so let me remove this, so there is no error in this particular file. Now let's close it, and this is the reset password, and now we need to configure it for resetting the password. And again, I'm gonna quickly do that. It has to be a client side, since this will be a form. User need to write a new password in this, and we have the use state, use search params, use router from Next.js, and this is the auth client. So first of all, at the top, we have to be able to fetch the param from the URL, because the URL which will be generated by the Better-Auth will be having the params, and it will have a token. And with that token, we'll be able to detect that which user is trying to reset his password. Okay, this is important. So now we are able to fetch the token from this, and then we can have the router, and then the state variable set new password like this. Okay, and for the div below, for the UI, we can create this. Okay, and then we need to have the handle reset function. So I'm gonna add that function quickly above it, and this is the function. So no error in this file, and this is the function what it is doing. It's using the auth client reset password which is built in. We need to pass the token and then the new password. New password needs to be added from the front end, which user will be adding. And then if there is an error, it will take to the login page. Okay. And when user needs to update the button, and when it will take to the to the login page, if there is no error, then user can actually try logging in with the new password which user have updated. So this is what we have done. Now let's try to send an email to this. So I actually used this one, smart working, and this is the email ID which I used to create an account on resend, because I'm using a free resend account. Let's click on that. So it's taking some time. All right, so it is showing the message, and this is the looking cool. Password reset email sent. Check your inbox and spam folder. So let me check that. All right, I have got an email. I have taken a screenshot, and this is how the email looks like, right? This is the format we added over here. Okay, so now I'm gonna click on the reset password. This is how the URL looks like, and you can see that what the URL contains. It contains the token, and it is taken us to the reset password page, which we have already created over here. And this is the UI it is showing, reset password. Okay, and this is the token we are fetching, and when we are going to set the new password, this token needs to be passed to the reset password function so that it can check that which user's password needs to be updated. Okay, so I can add a new password. So initially I added a password like capital A B C and 1234, so I can add capital 2 A's and B C D and 1234. Okay, capital 2 A's, A B C D and 1234. Click on update password. All right, so seems like the password is updated now. Let's try to sign in with that. So Umair at smartworking.io and then capital A B C D 1234. Let's click on sign in and it should work fine. All right, so it is working pretty much perfectly fine, and our reset password functionality is working fine as well. So what we have done in this tutorial, we have implemented the basic configuration for the Better-Auth in our Next.js project, and we have configured the basic layouts, nav bars, and the UI stylings, validations, error handlings, and we have implemented login sign up. We have implemented the login with GitHub. We have implemented the forget reset password. And if we go to the Better-Auth, it is quite awesome. I really like it. I think it is better than the Next.Auth, which we have previously been using. And Next.Auth is a bit difficult to understand, but this Better-Auth is pretty easy. And it has a lot of concepts. We have different types of authentications, social auths, and we have different types of plugins we can use, and these are quite awesome, like phone number login, magic link, email OTP, generate OAuth, one tap, and all these two-factor auth. Okay, this is quite awesome, and many people are using Better-Auth for big enterprise level applications as well. All right guys, I hope you have liked this tutorial. If you have liked it, make sure to subscribe my channel, and yeah, like this video as well. And also I'll be creating more videos on the AI tools, LLMs, how to use proper prompt engineering techniques to generate code with the help of AI, even the vibe programming as well. So let me know in the comments below if you want that kind of tutorials. Thank you so much for watching guys. See you in the next tutorial.